UEFA Champions League Final 2025, PSG versus Inter Milan, a clash of titans in Munich. As the sun dips below the horizon, the stadium transforms into a sea of colour and anticipation for this big final, this Champions League final. Tonight, two of Europe's footballing giants, Paris Saint-Germain and Inter Milan, stand on the precipice of glory, each vying for the ultimate prize in European club football. For PSG, this final represents not just a chance at redemption, but an opportunity to etch their name into European history. After years of near misses and heartbreak, Luis Enrique's men arrive in Munich determined to claim the trophy that has eluded them thus far. Inter Milan, on the other hand, march into the final brimming with confidence after that dramatic victory against much-fancied Barcelona in the semi-final. Inzaghi's side has blended Italian defensive steel with an attacking flair that has lit up the continent. And so the game begins. In terms of lineups, both teams were selected as expected, with no major injuries or surprises from the semi-final lineups. For PSG, the big call for them was maybe selecting Doué over Barcola for this game. At the start, it was Inter who are prepared to be cautious and let PSG have the ball. Vitinha is given loads of time, passing the ball around from the centre circle. Also, given Inter's perceived physical advantage, it's a surprise that PSG in the early stages are threatening from crosses into the box. Then, after 9 minutes, the first sighter and shot at goal. A long-distance effort comfortably held by Sommer in the Inter goal. And on 10 minutes, Dembele gets his first shot as well, but also it's easy for Sommer. But then, a minute later, PSG have the lead, and deservedly so based on the possession and intent in the first 11 minutes. And when the goal comes, it all looks so easy and basic for PSG. It starts with Mkhitaryan giving away the ball cheaply in midfield. It comes, of course, to Vitinha, who plays it out left to Kvaratskhelia, who drives forward at the Inter defence, putting them on the back foot. He passes to Ruiz in the box, who plays it to Vitinha, again in loads of space out on the left corner of the Inter penalty area. Then, for some inexplicable reason, Acerbi steps out for offside, even though he can clearly see Dumfries is behind him on his right side. Doué sees the hole the Italian has made, and Vitinha does not need to be asked twice to play the ball into his feet on the left side of the 6-yard box. Now, with Acerbi out of the picture, the other defenders have to try and shuffle across to plug the hole. Di Marco has to come across to try and block the shot, and the result is that Doué has the easy task of playing the ball across the 6-yard box to an unmarked Hakimi, who can put the ball into the net. Sommer is nowhere near the ball as he is being drawn across to the left-hand post, expecting a shot from Doué. It's easy for PSG, who, by the way, had Dembele free behind Hakimi, just in case they needed another person to finish off that move. Poor start from Inter. But how would the Nerazzurri react? Can they stem this flow from PSG? So far, Inter haven't been looking after the ball. Credit to PSG for their energetic press, denying Inter time on the ball, and denying a chance for their midfield to have an influence. Inter's wing-backs, such a crucial part of their game plan, also pinned back by PSG's dynamism on the ball. Then, on 20 minutes, horror for Inter and ecstasy for PSG as Doué's shot is deflected past Sommer off Di Marco, who had turned his back on the shot and into the goal. Now 2-0 for PSG. I'm actually expecting the fans to be shouting already or chanting easy, easy, easy. This goal started with Inter actually attacking from a long throw. Pacho prevents the corner to Inter, and Kvaratskhelia takes the ball from left full-back position, plays it up to the halfway line to Dembele, who is now racing forward. It is 2 versus 2. How could this be? Dembele takes it into his stride and pushes Acerbi onto the back foot. Çalhanoğlu comes across to help his defender out, but with no central defenders in sight, Bastoni and Pavard cut upfield, Dimarco again, the poor man, has to come inside to cover centrally, leaving Doué unmarked behind him. It is easy for Dembele to look up and play the pass to Doué. Dimarco now has to come back across to him and try to block it, but the rest is history. It should be noticed that when Kvaratskhelia is bombing forward from the left-back position at the start of that move, both Bastoni and Pavard, two of the three centre-backs, are just outside the 6-yard box of PSG. Inter, they came back from when we thought they were dead against Barcelona, they came back, and they need a similar resurrection in this game. They have a good chance soon after with Acerbi heading over from a good position from an Inter corner. This seems to be their only chance of scoring a goal. But soon after, we're back into the same pattern with Inter unable to deal with the movement of PSG. Without a recognised centre-forward, a number 9 as it were, Kvaratskhelia, Doué, Dembele and even Ruiz joining from midfield are so fluid that orthodox defenders like Acerbi and Bastoni are left marking shadows and don't know whether to hold their line or come out to pick up PSG players on the ball. 30 minutes played and Martinez has barely had a touch, as neither has Barcella. And the frustration and in-bickering among the Inter players says it all. Tactically, Enrique has dominated Inzaghi. Personally, I have not seen many of Inter's games this season, not even, I must admit, their semi-final victory against Barcelona, but any team with Mkhitaryan in it is going to struggle for effort based on seeing him in younger days for Arsenal and Manchester United. But still, one goal can change it for Inter. It can change the game completely. On 36 minutes, another corner for Inter, and Thuram, like Acerbi before him, should do better with a clear header from a corner. The margins, obviously, so fine. Inter are now seeming to have more of the ball, but not really creating anything from open play. Donnarumma is being a spectator in the PSG goal. Then, on 43 minutes, almost calamity for Inter as Dembele gets around the back of the tortured Dimarco, but the Frenchman can't get his shot on target. I think that the biggest problem for Inter, with two recognised forwards up front, is that they need their wing-backs in midfield, but PSG's fluency and playing in the half spaces is pinning those wing-backs back, leaving that they have 5 at the back, leaving Inter with 3 in midfield and being overrun there, and Barella never having a moment to get his head up when on the ball. Now back to the game, and with Kvaratskhelia wastes a good heading opportunity from a PSG corner. He was unmarked there. The referee blows the whistle for half-time. Surely PSG fans could not have expected all their dreams to come true so quickly in such a fashion. In the first half, Inzaghi and Inter need a goal. In the second half, need a goal. What can they conjure in that second half? It finishes here at half-time. PSG 2, Inter Milan 0.